Rossi, thank you very much. Our next question regards the amendments to the City of Toronto Act, which took effect in 2007, giving important new taxing powers to the City of Toronto. And one of the first new taxes under this act was the creation of a municipal land transfer tax in Toronto, which matched the provincial land transfer tax and has effectively doubled the total land tax transfer tax paid on the sale of real estate in the city. Would you commit to avoiding new taxes on commercial real estate, such as parking lot taxes, if elected mayor? Mr. Pantalone, first to you.
Well, the answer is yes. To increase yes, I will not support new taxes on commercial real estate, because commercial real estate, we want more of it in Toronto, and that's why we put in place what was talked about in the previous question. So it seems to be counterproductive to basically be lowering taxes in order to attract more employment here in offices, towers, etc., and at the same time increase their costs. That would not make any sense. But I will urge the industry, however, to put pressure on the provincial and federal governments, because of all the taxes that get paid in Toronto, 92% go to the provincial and federal governments, 8% go to the city, and those governments are not investing in our city, which means that's why we have transportation and other problems in Toronto which need remedying. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Thomson?
Well, this is sort of a two-part question. We have a lot of powers with the Toronto Act to impose new taxes and bylaws. But I think, first of all, we have to look at getting our costs down. We have to get our own house in order before we start saying, well, where are we going to tax? I'm not a big believer in taxing. They've looked at, economists are saying we could go into a double-dip recession. So I'm a big believer in what can we do to protect against that. So inviting businesses in, doing all we can to, I want to reduce the land transfer tax and get rid of it. I want to get rid of the license registration fee. And I want to get costs down so that we're able to do that. But I've also said I want to reduce taxes. So there's a lot of work involved. We're looking at this, and we've analyzed the books, and we're projecting around $1 billion we need to cut from the city costs. We can do that in a measured way with attrition and reducing the contingency fees, reducing our debt costs. So we can do it. It'll take some time, but once we do that, then I believe we have to put measures in, like getting rid of the land transfer tax.
Okay, Mr. Smitherman.
Well, suggesting that $1 billion of cuts on a $9 billion base operating budget is going to be done in a measured way will be an interesting measure, and we look forward to seeing candidates lay out their financial plans. Mine is going to come on the 27th of September. I'm focused in 2011 on a tax freeze, a hiring freeze, and a freeze on new spending, and to conduct a 100-day review of the books with all members of City Council, because I think restoring fiscal credibility at City Hall is job one. The city's revenues have grown a lot in the course of the last 7 years. I think it's time to demonstrate that we can live within the resources as they are available, and I will not be proposing new taxes to be imposed on the commercial property tax sector. And again, the 2011, I'll be proposing a tax freeze, which saves, if you were going to have a 2% increase, $24 million for the commercial industrial sector. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Rossi.
Again, the answer is yes, but to do that, we have to control spending, because that's what's driving the nickeling and diming. That's what's driving the creation of new taxes at City Hall. And to get that, to fix that spending, one, we need multi-year planning. The fact that they still manage a $9.2 billion operating budget on an annual basis is ridiculous. Two, there has to be a hiring freeze, and we have to use attrition to bring down labor costs, which have grown at 3 times the rate of GDP growth for the last 8 years. That's not sustainable. That means we're going to have managed competition, more outsourcing. The CD Howe recently reported that we could save $50 million a year by outsourcing garbage, as a for instance. We have to bring down our debt. We're spending $450 million a year in debt servicing, principal and interest. And one of your members, Blake Hutchison of Oxford, led the Blue Ribbon panel that called for the monetization of city assets, including Toronto Hydro, to bring that down, to be able to invest in the infrastructure investments that this city desperately needs, like transit.
Mr. Rossi, thank you. Next question I'm going to ask you just has to deal with as all of you have alluded to, and this is obviously a big issue for many people.
So I think you missed me.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
It's all right.
It's hard to miss.
It's hard to miss 300 pounds of fun, let me tell you.
God.
Anyways, I will guarantee, ladies and
You get a
gentlemen.
minute, 10 seconds.
No, that's all right.
Go ahead.
That's okay. We have a spending problem, not a revenue problem. Not only, and I call it a taxation act, not a Toronto Act. This just gives, well, it gave Mr. Miller and the rest of council the power to implement these new taxes, and they're unnecessary. Let's face it. The car registration tax and land transfer tax is approximately, give or take $1 million here or there, approximately $220 million. That's less than 2% out of $11.6 billion budget. And then private sector companies, every year you have to find efficiencies, 5–10%, especially during a recession. It was very tough. So not only will I abolish the land transfer tax and car registration tax, I will guarantee there will be no new taxes if I'm fortunate enough to be mayor. And saying there will be a hiring freeze, it will be impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but you know what? What do we do when we need more police officers, firefighters? We have to hire them. So that's why I'm saying we can hire back 3% and cover our essential services. But to say there's going to be a hiring freeze and not have enough police officers on the street, I don't think that's going to go over very well. Thank you very much.